I was privileged to become chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the Armed Forces of the United States, the first black person to ever hold that position. I was very pleased that I was able to reach the pinnacle of my military career, but I never forgot the fact that I owed that accomplishment to so many other people. I owed it to my family, of course, that raised me and gave me a sense of purpose, but I also owed it to a unique group of Americans who came before me. Black men and women who served in the armed forces of the United States since our very inception as a nation. Black men and women who went by different names. They were called the Tuskegee Airmen. They were called the Buffalo Soldiers. They were called the Montford Point Marines. They were called the Golden 13 of the Navy. They all served the nation at a time when the nation was not prepared to serve them. They all served through those days of segregation and Jim Crow and, yes, even slavery. They served in the certain knowledge that if they demonstrated to the American people that their blood was as red as any other American's blood, if they demonstrated to the American people that their valor was as great as anyone else's, their courage as great as anyone else's, in due course, the American people would have to recognize them as full first-class citizenship and citizens. The reality of life in America was that for these heroes, the military was the only place they could demonstrate their equality within American society. One of those units was the 555 Parachute Infantry Battalion, known as the Triple Nickels. The Triple Nickels were formed in the early part of World War II. Really came into their own about 1943 or so. And they were the first black paratroopers in the American Army. There are a lot of people who said blacks couldn't jump out of airplanes. They wouldn't be able to manage the parachutes. They wouldn't have the courage to step out the door. And the fact of the matter is, sure, they could, and yes, they did. And they did it very, very well. And they were proud of it. They were proud of being able to demonstrate to their fellow citizens that they were up to any task you gave them in the military. They didn't get to the combat zone, but they saw combat in an entirely interesting and different way. And that was in responding to Japanese attacks against the northwest part of the United States with incendiary balloons that would set forest fires, and the Japanese hope would even set towns and cities afire. It was a real danger. And the Triple Nickels, as they were known, were sent into that danger to become smoke jumpers. And in the process of doing their work, many of them were injured, many of them sacrificed, and all of them served. But even then, people looked down on them because of the color of their skin. But they persevered. They were Americans. They were willing to do their job. They were willing to put up with these affronts in a certain knowledge that if they performed well, if they did their job, then in due course they would be helping America understand its responsibility to African Americans. They were setting the stage for people like me when I came along to be able to succeed because they showed the way. But I've said enough. It's important for you to hear this story from the people who actually wrote the story, the people who lived the story. And so I invite you now to relax and enjoy a part of important American history, the history of the Triple Nickels as told by the members of the Triple Nickels.